Coach, obviously, you guys, 89 in a row now. Is it something you now talk about? I mean, normally the streaks are not something that you guys often talk about. Do you talk about it when it gets to this point?
The other day was my first, interaction with our team about it. I didn't feel it was necessary to talk about it, bring it up, address it, or anything. I just move on, let's play, and let's get the next one. And then when we were in Florida, obviously after the Maryland game, and I knew it came up, and that's the first I talked about it with them, about what it is that they're trying to do and what it would mean to them, and so I kind of let them kind of have it. I said, don't feel like you have to do any of this for anybody other than yourself, even though I think you're at 14 in a row. That's what I think about you guys. But then a couple of them reminded me that they've been here for all 89, which I didn't realize at the time, but we have a couple that have been here for all 89. 3 of them, as a matter of fact.
Do you think this team is afraid to lose at all, and that what makes them so successful?
I don't know. I think whenever you're afraid, sometimes you get paralyzed, I've always thought when you're afraid, you don't take chances. You don't, you operate from a negative. So I don't know. I know that maybe they're determined to win. I think that might be more accurate for them. They don't seem to play afraid. They don't seem to play tentatively. They don't, they don't get caught up in any of it. Like when I was talking to Caroline Doty last night about something else, about that team that she was on. They had a lot of characters on that team. It was a very emotional team, that team. This team, generally speaking, is kind of unemotional. The duds. I mean, like, you look at them and, like, there's nothing. I think they were excited after the Florida State game because they almost lost. But, I didn't see them jumping up and down after any of our other games. Did you? But I wasn't looking, but I didn't know that they were all celebrating like they just won Game 7 of the World Series. These guys just like, whatever. This is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do. And who am I to change it? This is what they do.
It's easy to have that attitude when you have Stewie and
Yeah.
but with this group,
I know.
that says a lot for the juniors in particular.
Yeah, they've come a long way so far. If you'd have told me 2 years ago that this is where Gabby would be, I would say, wow, I hope so. But there was no, it's not like when Tuck and Stewie were juniors and you say, wow, are you surprised they're doing this? Like, no. But freshman year, if you said to me, this is what Gabby's going to do as a junior, I would go, wow, I hope you're right. So they've come a long way. They've come very far. And, I know today was different than some of the games that we played. These last 2 games have been a little bit different. I get that. But, that first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the game, whatever it was, that would have been amazing regardless of who we were playing against. That was an incredible run right there, right at the beginning. So we have our moments where we look amazing. And then we had a lot of average moments tonight as well, I thought, personally.
I mean, Nafisha and Gabby didn't get on the court a lot together last year, but you watch them play, there's a chemistry there. Is that surprising how well that they seem to mesh on the court together?
I think when you play a lot of minutes, it happens, So when you think about how much time they've spent together in practice, and that there's a downside to not having a bench. The plus side is these guys get to play a lot of minutes together, and they get to spend a lot of time on the court together in practice as well. And Gabby being such a good passer and sees things has really helped Nafisa. And I think Nafisa, will become a much, much better passer. Right now, she thinks score more times than pass. But I just think the two of them are just really, there really aren't a whole lot of limitations that they have. They're not great at everything, but they're pretty good at just about everything, and that helps them.
The other thing is you got awards from a lot of people. What was it like today getting an award from a man like that?
Yeah. Geno Dempsey's he's one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met. He's just I've met a lot of people. You're right, and I've not been fascinated and just absolutely enthralled by anybody more than all the time that I've spent with Geno Dempsey. And whether it's dinner at his house, whether it's just having a couple drinks at the Olympics, or at the Pentagon, all the times that I've been around him, I'm just never. It never ceases to amaze me the things that he's done, the way he handles situations, and his perspective on the world and where we are is just. I wish he'd have run for president. We're trying to talk him into it. Not bad for a guy that does postgraduate work at Duke. See, they're not all bad. Everybody wants to hate Duke.
Did he ask you to serve again?
No, I didn't serve the first time. I got lucky the first time, and no. He knows. He did tell me that something like 3 out of every 4 people that try to get into the military don't make it. Because it's really hard now. It's about people going there. They're pretty smart guys, pretty bright guys, and you gotta have a lot going for you. And I don't think he thinks I could cut it. Oh, national team coach. I thought you meant go back and. No, we haven't talked about that. We haven't talked about that at all. He hasn't brought it up. He hasn't hinted at it. Nothing. We're having dinner in about 15 minutes, so let's hope it stays that way. Let's hope it stays that way.
You've said in the past, like you've had teams that have won, but maybe you haven't enjoyed the experience as much. Are you enjoying this group, wins aside?
Yeah, there's a lot of things about what's going on right now that I do enjoy. And I told them before the game, I said, I'm kind of anxious to watch you guys play. So it's a little bit different from last couple of seasons when you knew what was coming. Even though I enjoyed watching it, I kind of knew what was coming. It was just a matter of time. But with this group, it's nice to see where it's going to come from, how it's going to look. And a lot of times I don't know, but I just know that it's going to happen. I just don't know how it's going to happen. And maybe that's how they are. Like, they don't know either. They just know it's going to happen, but they're not quite sure how. And again, I just want them to enjoy this, because it's a once in a lifetime. Well, at least I thought it was a once in a lifetime. It's a once in a lifetime for them. They're not going to go through it again, but and it's something that they're on the verge of doing something that, well, they've already done something by winning tonight that people thought would be impossible to do, and this has happened twice now, and it's just, I don't even know what to say. Because no matter what you say, it doesn't really do it justice.
Geno, the two streaks, and Pat came up with another statistic today that you guys are 300 games over 500 since 2008. All the records,
What?
You 312 and 12 since the start of the 2008 season.
Seriously.
Seriously. So with
Jesus.
all the records, all
That's
the
a lot of
all
goddamn
the
games.
streaks, other than the championships, are you more proud of one, or is there something that impresses you about these records and streaks? What is the thing that catches your attention?
I think the thing that I always land on when people ask me this stuff is that, and I don't want to speak too soon because obviously we have a ways to go, but up until today, we generally don't lose games that we're not supposed to lose. We don't lose to teams that, are not as good as we are. So we don't show up and just go through the motions and mail it in and have an upset one night. So the fact that that hasn't happened is probably the most amazing thing, because you look around the country, women's basketball, even this year, you see some wins and losses and you go, how'd that happen? So it's right there. All the evidence is always right there, and yet we've, up to this point, managed to avoid that. Don't ask me how.
Do you feel like this team hasn't developed its identity yet, Geno? I mean, it seems like people are falling into their roles, but you feel they haven't really created their own identity yet?
No, I don't think they have. I don't know what that would be, and I don't know if they know what it would be. I really don't, and I don't know when that will happen. I mean, I don't know what became evident during those games in November and December, where we had to do some things to win, and they certainly did. I don't know what it is, though. I don't know that we're a bunch of tough guys. They're going to come in there and just, maul you to death because of, I don't know that we're, just overwhelming when you look at us walk in the gym. Like, when we had, Asia and Tamika and Swin and Dee and Svet and Shay, when we walked in the gym, everybody just went, well, there's the team that's going to win right there. So I don't know. I can't even put my finger on, like, what is it? What is it about this team? Other than I think they expect to win. They expect to win. Somehow, some way. They expect to win.
Anybody else for the last one?